Hi, Scrappy friends. It's Kim back from Making Creative Memories in Time. First, before I get started with today's video, I just want to say that my thoughts and prayers are with all people who were affected by Hurricane Milton. If you were in the path, praying for your safety, and when you do, if you evacuated and when you do get to return home, praying that there is minimal damage. So thoughts and prayers are with all from Hurricane Milton, and my heart is still with friends and everyone in Eastern Tennessee and Western North Carolina who are trying to clean up and rebuild from Hurricane Helene. So just prayers, so many prayers, and prayers for all in Wyoming with those devastating wildfires. So today, I am using bits and pieces from Croptoberfest bundle and the paper that goes along with Croptoberfest. And I want to document, so my aunt has this beautiful sunflower that was not planted. it was not planted. And before my uncle suddenly passed, he loved feeding birds. And we've continued to feed the birds and take care of everything that my uncle did for 4.5 years. And this rather large sunflower, I know the pictures do not do it justice, but it's a rather large sunflower that just came out of nowhere in a flower pot that had annuals in it. This just came out of nowhere, so I think the birds had drifted a seed, and it came in an entirely different part of the yard than where we feed the birds. And so I took photos documenting, you know, the point of when we realized that it was a sunflower all the way up until it's blooming. And I basically took these daily. So I chose my 3 favorite photos to document, and I want to tell this story because it's a little bit symbolic for me as a Christian and a believer. This is my uncle communicating with me and my aunt, and so I want to tell that story. And so this was a photo, and I'm sorry about that glare from my studio lights. This is a photo where the sunflower is starting to open. And then this was the very next night when the busting open was beginning. And this was the next night when it was in full bloom. So these were my 3 favorite photos. And then I have just randomly pulled paper from both the Croptoberfest, and I want to tell you, because I don't want to misspeak and I don't want to say it incorrectly, the accessory paper pack for Croptoberfest. So that's where these papers came from, and I've just pulled colors that I feel like are going to match well with this. This comes from the accessory pack, and I love this plaid. I may use a little of this just to break up because there's a lot of bold like colors, and this may be like my neutral that sort of just breaks everything up. This is from the accessory pack. One side of this is this absolutely darling mason jar paper, and then the reverse is just that Island Waters like stripe. I love that. And this paper is beige, but instead of using my traditional white base, I am going to use this beige base, okay? Again, to neutralize these bold colors. I have also pulled the sticker sheet. I have pulled this dark sea green, and I have pulled a piece of the sunflower paper that I had previously cut for another project. And I think I'm going to use bits and pieces of this, possibly even just fussy cut for some decoration. The embellishments that I pulled, I want to, even though pumpkins or, you know, fall harvest is not in this, it's still fall, so I pulled those. I pulled the yellow truck. I pulled this cute little banner that may go on the truck, or it may go on the wagon, I'm not sure. I pulled the little dark sea green wagon, and then the 3 little stacked bales of hay. Again, it's just fall. It does not have to tie directly to the picture or the story I'm telling. This is just fall. And then I may, instead of doing the hay, I may put in the harvest. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And then I pulled one of my fall stamps. And this was Enjoy These Moments stamp of the month from September 2022. And I'm probably going to use this title, Autumn Blessings, because the story that I want to tell is about my uncle still giving us signs and being with us even, you know, 4.5 years later. And so I liked that. And then I liked this, Simply Enjoy These Moments. I thought that was, and then I liked the little fall leaf. So we'll see how this goes. So let's get everything cleaned off and get to it. So I am going to start with my base page. And my base page is this beige. And this is going to be a one-page layout. So this is all I need. I did take tons of pictures, but I do not think that I am... I don't want to turn this into a 2-page layout. So I think I'm going to do like a 1/2-inch strip of this sunflower paper. And so I'm going to just pull in my trimmer. And I'm going to cut 2 1/2-inch strips. And while I'm cutting this, I want to say thank you for all of my subscribers. Thank you. If you're new here, I would appreciate a subscribe. And be sure to hit the notification bell. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to frame these photos with this sunflower paper. And all I'm doing right now is just sort of dry fitting. And I'm going to, instead of having them line up, I'm going to trim them down so that they sort of sit a little angled, and they're going to sort of touch here at the bottom and then have a little space in them at the top. Let's see, where is that pretty plaid? I want to pull this plaid in, and here I think I am going to... And I want you to be able to see the plaid. So if I do an inch, you're going to be able to tell that it's plaid. And then let's come back into another inch. Sometimes when I'm working with a plaid paper, I evaluate the paper and see if I need to trim something off so that it's going to look cohesive when you use it. And I sort of thought about cutting some of this off so I got that full plaid in the middle, but then I visually realized that it's going to be the same. So one of these can be at the top and one can be at the bottom, okay? And I even thought about, for this page, having all of my paper sort of be this way and have a little journal spot there. But again, I've sort of, you know, thinking about it a little bit differently. This is not a page that I have a sketch in mind, or I really know what I'm doing, so to speak. It's just sort of coming right out of my head as I go. And I think I'm going to be happy with that. And then now what I want to do, because I have not trimmed my photos and I don't know when I'm going to mat them in yet, I feel like, though, because there's such vibrancy in this photo here, and there's such vibrancy in this photo here, I feel like I want some orange. And the reason I had pulled this paper was originally I thought I wanted this behind the photos, but I really like this. And then let's take a quick peek at this gold, and let's see which one I like better. So let's pair it. Obviously, I think I'm going to like this one better because there's no orange in that paper. But I can still work orange in a different way if I want, right? So I think what I'm going to do here is I am going to make this a I think I'm going to make this a 5-inch piece. And for those of you who enjoy my full thought process, thank you for sticking around to hear the full thought process, because, you know, sometimes that's a little much, but I enjoy videos where the creator talks through their process and gives tips and tricks. I really enjoy that, and so when I create, I try to keep that in mind as I'm creating, because I want to create the same kind of videos that I enjoy watching, and I know everybody's not into that, and that's okay. So here, I'm thinking I may need to trade out this truck because it's not going to stand out now. So we may trade out this truck for, let's see, I really like the truck going in that direction, but then I could also, I don't know that the brown one is going to stand out very well either, but here is this sea green and island water that will stand out nicely. So let's trade out the truck. And we also may need to trade out the wagon now, because I don't want the truck and the wagon to be the same color. So let's go ahead while we have this out and pull like the orange wagon. And I don't even know that the orange wagon is going to stand out. We may need them to be the same color. Let me just make sure we don't have a different, nope, that's the only wagons. I can see that. So we're going to just leave the orange wagon and the island wagon, deep sea green and the island wagon, because we'll just play it out when we get there and see what we think. Now on this truck, there's a gate. If I wanted that, I can leave it, or I can trim that off even. And it may be that we trim it off and put it on the wagon. We'll just see when we get to that point, okay? So now, this gives me an idea of how I want to mount my photos. Okay, when I think about this, I really did want to pull in the orange. And what I may do is I may have a very thin matte with the orange, and then come back and do another matte with the island waters, and that will, not island waters, deep sea green, that will pull it all in nicely, I think. So let's get those matted, and then we can start placing everything down. Let's see if we're going to like this. So what I did, this is going to be a triple matte, and we're just going to see what we think about it. But before I actually adhere these, we're going to just make sure I'm happy with what they look like. Because like I said, I'm triple matting. And I just took photo place holders, because you all know I love a white mat around my photo. And these photos are trimmed to 3.5 by 5.5. Oops. And I need to put them in order. Yes, I do, Sissy Cat, put them in order. And then, ooh, I'm liking what that looks like. So let's get these adhered down. Okay, so these are mounted, and I absolutely love this triple mount, this triple mat. I love the white, because I just feel like white underneath any photo really helps to lift it and separate it from whatever colors or patterns you're using. So I really like how that turned out. So now the key is going to be to determine how, so here's kind of what I'm thinking. This photo is going to sort of be straight, and then these are going to be a little bit cattywampus, so to speak. And this one may actually even be down a little bit lower, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So now I need to determine how far down this needs to come. And I'll have to pull in my mat with my grid lines. But I'm thinking that right there is probably about where I want this to go. And then now that I'm looking at this, and I know this is going to overlay, I possibly can use my yellow truck, because the yellow truck is really what I wanted to use in the first place, right? So I think that if I especially overlay my yellow truck onto the photos, then I am definitely going to be happy with where that goes, which means I'm still going to be able to use this little wagon. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I'm going to need the orange wagon after all. And you guys who follow me, you know that when I'm working with a one-page layout, I like to do diagonal. And I really want this. And maybe I'll even do it in such a way that it's like here, and do a little inking so that it sort of blends. And I really feel like I like the pumpkins coming out of that truck. I really feel like I like those pumpkins there. And I feel like I like that little banner. And then up here, but I do feel like I would want this possibly like right up here. And then let's just see the little hay bales. I still feel like I need some ink. I feel like ink is going to make that work better for me. Let's see. I don't know that I like the hay bales as much as I may like. No, I think I do like the hay bales better. You guys know me. If you follow me, this is the part that I struggle with, right? This is the part I struggle with. And then here, I'm thinking that my Autumn Blessings title is going to go right there. And then this Simply Enjoy These Moments is going to go up here. And then, you know, I have to hit some enamel dots, right? It just can't function without enamel dots for me. So if you are like me and you love enamel dots, like, be sure to hit some hearts and leave some comments and let me know that you love enamel dots. And then here, I'm just looking to see, you know what? Instead of the hay, we may pull these pumpkins and put these pumpkins right there, because I really like that. And then we may even, let's see, we may, just so that is a little more cohesive, we may do it like this. Yes. And then these sunflowers, I'm not really liking those sunflowers just the way they are. Okay, I think I know where I'm going with this. So let's get this little fella wrapped up. So we're just going to remove these pieces for the moment. And I think that we're going to start here and work our way up. I am using Repositionable Adhesive. And I'm going to go to about 1 3/4 from the bottom of the page. And then we're just going to build. Now, I also could have chosen to ink up these edges. I don't think I'm going to do that at all. So I had planned a Croptoberfest, but for those of you who follow me on my Facebook page, link down below, my baby, my great nephew, or grand nephew as I've been calling him. I don't have kids, and so my niece was like her and her brother were my children, you know, what God let me have for children. And so Roland, my niece's first child, is like my grandbaby, so I'm referring to him as my grandnephew. He is still in NICU, and we are still getting to have weekend visits until the CDC comes in and tells us that it's flu season and we can't have visits. We are still getting to visit, so I don't know that I'm going to be able to do a Croptober event. So I am liking that right there. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to pull an old ink from close to my heart. An old ink that is Peacock. Okay. I'm also going to pull in an extra photo placeholder because I want this to be light. But do I want this? Or do I want to pull in that little tad of orange? I think I want it to be this color. So I'm using just a small blending brush. And by using this card, it's going to ensure that I am going to be able to lightly do this. Because can you imagine what this would look like if it were not a light touch? It would be atrocious. But I just want enough there that you can tell. You know what I'm saying? And then I want to extend this way because my title is going to get stamped over in this area. And then the same thing, my little wagon is going to be up here. So we're just going to do, no, I did get a little harsher right there, so I'm not going to go back into the ink at all. I'm going to come in and just try to blend that a little more. It's a little harsher in that area, a little deeper than down here. So to even that out, we're going to come down here and just sort of make a few harsher little spots. And there we go. And this is, if you have, and you can probably find something in your stash that's similar. This is really old. This is Peacock. And Peacock matches this deep sea green beautifully. Matches it beautifully. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stamp my Autumn Blessings. And if you look, there's nothing black really except these tires. Mocha is going to be the ink that I'm choosing to stamp with. I'm going to put my foam pad under. I'm just going to lay that so I know where it needs to go. This has been used and used and used, and you can tell it's been used and used and loved. And I'm using Mocha ink, and it will soak in beautifully. Autumn Blessings. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And then let's go ahead. I'm going to stick, you know me, I'm going to stick this little guy up on some foam tape, right? Yes. Can it happen if it's not on foam tape? Well, technically it probably could, but some of this foam tape tears really easy, and some of this foam tape does not. And we're going to go ahead and get this attached. Now the truck is going to go on foam, but the pumpkins are not. Oh, I love it. I love it. The pumpkins are just going to be adhered with regular adhesive, and they're just going to slide like right down in. Okay. Now let's go ahead and sort of place our photos. I am absolutely in love with how these photos look on this paper, right? I am in love with it. So I'm only going to put adhesive in the center of the photos, and I want to make sure that I'm not going to be fighting with a page protector over here. And then let's go ahead and get this one. Same thing. We don't want to fight with a page protector. I'm going to do adhesive right in the center. And I am not going to fight with the page protector. And then this one is going to sort of happen right here in the middle. And you know what? Why don't we lift this one up on some foam tape? And since, let's not use the thin foam tape, let's use a little bit thicker foam tape on this. And I'm putting this a little bit closer together because when it goes in its Forever album, I do not want this to be smushed down. And right here is going to give me the perfect place to tell my story. You know, as a believer, I'm one of those people who is constantly looking for signs. And I feel like, and I don't have to take all of this backing off. I just need one in the middle and one at the top and the bottom, because the rest of that foam is just there to keep from crunching in the weight of the album. But I definitely believe in signs. And I believe those who have gone on to the heavens before us let us know things. And this sunflower for me is one of those things. I just think that my uncle was just saying everything is okay. Still with you. Everything is okay. And for the wagon, we are going to do a little bit of tape, foam tape on the wagon. Now, obviously, I can't put foam tape behind the handle because it's just too teeny tiny. And that's okay. So, hopefully, you guys got this, because I think that this collection is gone now. There may be... The accessory pack may be available. Whatever is still available for Croptoberfest, I will link it below. But I do think that most of it's gone. Especially the bundle. The bundle is gone for sure. And no, we're going to need some foam on that. And I'm just going to rub that real quickly on my hand to get rid of a lot of the sticky. And the reason that you get rid of the sticky is... you don't want that to stick backwards, stick down under the weight of the book. And then this little guy, I'm just going to pull that same mat in, and I'm just going to put down some removable, repositionable tape. And let's put this on our little wagon just to tie that in. How cute is that? I love it. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to pull in and I will handwrite my little story right here. Simply enjoy these moments. And the reason that I love this I love subtitles and little things like this. I love it when I'm scrapbooking. And this is going to go right here. Simply enjoy these moments. I love it. And so the only thing I need to do is add some enamel dots and do my journaling. And I think this page is complete. So let me just real quickly, I'm going into some enamel dots from a Crisp Air package from Close to My Heart. And these are just all left over. But I love this sort of gold. And I feel like that's what I want here. Let's see. So some of them are hearts and some of them are dots. And I think it's perfectly fine to mix the dot and the heart. And then down here, we will do the same thing. Let's pull a larger Autumn Blessings. And let's do a heart here, and then let's come over here at the back of the truck and do a heart. And I think I'm going to do 5 down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then let's do one more heart up here. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. That's all we needed, friends. And this page is complete. So what do you think? Leave a comment and tell me, what do you think about that little bit of inking just to help separate that, just to help that like ground it and give it a place to live, to sit. I love it. I love it. Thanks for watching, friends. I appreciate you more than you know. Happy scrapping.